Oh, Mama Fanuga, I see you. Good afternoon, ladies. And after such an intro, so I sent my husband the message. And then soon after, I said, Mama, I'm ready to pick up. So the next message that came was like, all right, just pick up the person. So I was like, my way, couldn't share, man. All right, ladies. I've got 30 minutes to spare in this talk, and I'm so blessed. I mean, the discussions we're getting here from this pulpit, from these women and men who are just blowing us. Tew, 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 tew. I was like, but why? Why are they coming with guns? Anyway, yeah, today we're going to talk about work-life balance, and I think it only makes sense to give an introduction of myself. I'm a lover, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a student, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a shepherdess, I'm an MC, I'm a facilitator, I'm a moderator, I'm a voiceover artist, I'm a lawyer, I'm a child rights consultant. So, I remember when I was having the discussion with Tetefe, I said to her, yeah, I think that's the one I can tackle. And all of them are completely, okay, some of them, if I group them into clusters, they are similar, the type of work. But most of them are worlds apart. I'm sure when, you see a wife, you're not expecting her to be, to be an MC. No mother, no child is expecting their mother to be an MC. They want a mother. And no husband is expecting their wife to be a lawyer. So, and so I feel that this discussion is one that, and these are multiple roles that all of us are into, by the way. Most of us are mothers, wives, daughters-in-law, business women, prayer partners, and all these. It comes in different ways. I've just mentioned mine. Are you with me? Okay, and I want to speak about this issue in a very precise and deliberate way. When we look at this issue of creating a work-life balance, I personally believe that our charge came from Exodus chapter 20, verse 8 to 10. I'll read it out loud. It says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." Which day? And then it says, 6 days thou shalt labor. Are you with me? How many? Exactly. And do all thy work. And then it goes on to explain about the Sabbath rest. But therein lies the secret that we have to work in those 6 days. Even this Sunday, as we are right now, so many people on their phones, and Miss Becky understands. For us, even now, you're at work, and what you have to do. A selfie for us is not a selfie; it's work. Hashtag kubas. And so, the 6 days thou shalt labor is not a joke. And that's where we women are trying to find ourselves. Okay, now in this modern society where the pressure is just too much, how do I create the balance between being that person who's still called mama or a wife at home, and then coming back and meeting this work and saying to people, we cannot do this merger. And then after that, getting a call and saying you needed a function. Okay, I'll come on Thursday. Please, I'm not available. No, it's okay. Then you cut the phone. The merger will not work. How do we create that balance? And I want to first say this. Stop feeling guilty. Stop feeling. Thank you. I saw the clicking. That's special. Stop feeling guilty. You are doing the best you can. And no one gave you notes on how to start. If you are like me, let me tell you what happened the first day I became a shepherdess. Shepherdess Mbira is here, Shepherdess Nyari is here, and I know there are others who I have not mentioned. The first day I became a shepherdess, I think 2 months after, we were counseling a couple that was 13 years in marriage. There was infidelity in the situation, and they wanted us to give them answers. I was looking at them like, No one prepares you for what life has to bring to you. It's you who starts making sense of the whole puzzles as you're going to, okay, this one can go there, this one can go there, that one must go there, this one can go there. And at all instances, you have to look normal. If we were, they my problems, you think you have it bad, but some people have it really bad, right? But I want to emphasize this. Stop feeling guilty. you are doing the best you can as a mom. You are trying to do your best in all that chaos. And I'm not exonerating failure. I'm saying no one gave you the manual on how to do this thing called life. Right. Now, let's now move on how to make it better. Plan. How many of us plan in a day? Look, plan. And you know that if you've given birth like me, you know that when you gave birth, you donated some brain cells. Like your memory is not as good as it used to. I'm telling you, in Inanguka, there is no scientific discussion about this enough. But I feel like when I gave birth, because I had a great memory, but now when I my my sure that happened when I gave birth. Do you understand what I'm saying? That happened when I grew up. That happened when I became an adult. Things about me didn't make sense. And so the first thing we need to talk about is planning. How well are we planning? Because planning puts things into perspective. Okay? Planning, it's like you get a panoramic view of what your day is going to look like, and you set your priorities straight. Number one, unless photo shoot number one facial, then number two, then you are putting things into perspective just because of planning. So to create a balance in your own mind, if you put it on paper, you see what you're working with. Are you with me? And then the next thing you're going to look at is setting achievable goals. You can't write, go to Bindura, then come back, pass by Mashingo, then do the prayers with the girls, then go to Kida, then go to Yanai to get a smoothie. It's impossible. Set achievable goals. I don't know if any of you have this acronym. It's called SMART. I'm going to adjust some so that we can make it short. Make them measurable. Can you measure the success of your plan? And it's make it achievable. Sorry. Make it realistic and make it time bound. Are you with me? Because when you do that, you're telling your mind, no, this works or this does not work or this needs a full day. We women have this thing. We always walk into life with a cape. You know what a cape is, ka? Superwoman, superwoman here. Hey, that we can do it. But we make it an achievement to suffer. But it's because we're not putting something that is sensible in the day. Are you with me? You have to plan and you have to be practical with your plan because your plan is going to affect your health. And as long as you know, and you know you're the central person of all these plans, you are the one person who needs to be the most healthy. And well, whilst I'm at that, then you might as well exercise. Most of us have 8-hour jobs that demand us to sit. And you've been wondering, why do I have a muffin top? But it's because when you sit, all the fat is being concentrated in this one area. And there you have a lot of stress that is coming because you're just sitting. There's no circulation. You know what makes you tick? What makes you release the endorphins, the happy hormones? It's when your blood is circulating. So when you exercise, you're not doing it for anyone or for lost weight or for Beyonce. You need to do it for your sanity. Do you understand? And don't do things. Hey, triathlon. Listen, just leave it. I'm telling you, you are not with Amanda. No. You are right here with me. You know, I used to do let me explain what happened. I used to do 20-kilometer walks plus. And then I sat down and I said to self, where are you taking this? Because the question is, you know, on the SMART aspect, it has to be achievable. And it has to, okay, the other word there I could put on the S is sustainable. Because if I start doing 20 kilometers and I want to lose weight and I want to sustain my weight, I'm not going to do 20 kilometers forever. Because winter shall come. We know the story of winter. Yes. My issue with that is that when you do something that is not sustainable, you're going to give up and you're going to say, it's because you took something that is too extreme. Even your planning was impractical. Do something you can do for a lifetime. I stopped 20 kilometers. Now, auntie, you can see that tree there. We walk back and forth the tree 20 times. 2Ks, wow, amazing, phenomenal. We've achieved 30 minutes of basic workout. We've achieved blood circulation, and we're going back to our workplaces thinking, that's achieved, I can do that. Don't even start with something extreme because you're going to get frustrated. Most of us here are saying, I hate this because we did something that is beyond us. We started with the beyond and not the now. Does that make sense? Okay, I have little time, so I have to move quickly. All right. Now, be your own competition. Don't compete with other people. And I'm saying this from the, I'll tell you, guys, okay, ladies, sorry. Let me explain. I didn't a competition, right? I'm very, and the worst of, I grew up with boys. You know, boys are the ones that tell you, hey, you know, their consequences are very rough. You know, they're not the typical consequences. Hey, rotten egg. We didn't have rotten egg. You know, things like that. So it became innate in me to be very competitive. But then I realized the problem I started having was that I started being competitive with other people who were not in my lane. My lane had different. Inini mrumongo is afumkaranga, afumkarad. Iwo wako mzezuru. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? I may not kind of make a sense, but what I'm trying to drive at you is that my story and you are trying to deal with economic, like how to upgrade myself from a iPhone 12 Pro Max to a 13 Pro Max. It's true that it's already itel ka. You can't. Even now, when they said high tea, most of us got into the pressure. This dress, though. But said something that's practical. If people are going to see you 30 times the same dress, your own competition is dealing with your reality and say, I need to make my reality make sense. I'm telling you, listen, and I want to tell you, I liked what Arthur was saying, stick to your lane, and he said something interesting. And when, like, you know, these fascinators, when I don't like fascinators. And like I said, I grew up as a tomboy. And it's, mama akuramusha inandri tomboy. And I want to go to town. And when you say fascinator, the first thing I do is drive to Charlene's house. Charlene, where are you? Then I say, Charlene, poach fascinator chako checha, baita function. Yeah, like I'm busy asking, fascinator. She said, well, it doesn't matter. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't have it. I'm not going to try and impress you because when I go back to my reality. I can't spend $30 on a fake thing that is not my reality. And I need to make sure. And that's what I'm saying. You know, when you see me and this girl, particularly her lane is the entertainment industry expaggorated, okay? Hers and mine might seem similar, but they are not. And you will find us wearing different clothes. I need to change my wardrobe. I need to do myself up. You are busy putting yourself. No, I'm being honest. And I feel like it's something that we have to realize in our balance because we throw ourselves off course. And what we don't realize is that someone is paying for our clothes and we are told you can't wear the same clothes twice. And she's going for a function with, what's called this? The Vine. And the Vine is saying you need to wear 3 outfits. Come on, guys. Ladies, sorry. What I'm saying is that when we look at our realities, let's talk real. And the nice thing about walking your lane is you are your own competition. To say, you know what, I was laughing with someone and I was like, green is my favorite color, but I want to compete with myself and start going into pinks and stuff. Although for me, it's mental torture. Okay, now, the other thing I want you to understand is this. Once you have planned, once you have realized that you are your own competition, you've put yourself in your pressure zone. Confirm? And then once you've done that, you need to commit. If you are going to say, in my life or with my children, I'm going to make sure that every day after 8, I put the phone down. Commit. Do it. If you put the phone down and something urgent comes up, write it on your palm or on a piece of paper, but show the children. And when you said, I'm going to sit, give them eye contact, call them by name. We know each other. Ningi? Ningi? Do you understand what it shows? You're not giving them that due attention. If you've got a friend, you're not married, you've got whatever, give yourself the respect that says, look, I'm going to give my mother, my aunt, my cousin, the person I'm with, due attention. It's a commitment you have to make. When I am working, I cannot afford to be on WhatsApp. I have to put that thing by the side. If there's anything urgent, they'll have to see me after I've finished that timeline. If you don't commit, you will commit. And when I say commit, you're going to commit the wrong thing. Does that make sense? We have to come to a place where we make a plan we see through. Some of us here, January we came, hey, this year, kana nikasakwanza 60 kilometers by the end of the half the year, muripi. Tanchi kukwizana pa makiu ema ikle apa papa nema mushroom mama. Commit. The discipline of committing. And let me tell you one thing that used to happen to me. This is interesting, my God. Listen to this. What I used to do was, I used to be one of those people who says, guys, and try kuita chapter a day. I'm trying kuti nditoverenga Bible kungoribata so kungonamata so azviskuita. Can I tell you my reality? I sat down one day, I did my own day audit. I didn't even do a life. I just did a day. I found that most of the time I start my day with Instagram. Then after that, I get wound into Facebook because of course, pane link right ku Instagram, ku Facebook. No budira ikoko. Rapere ku mvoti kwenyeka tozombobuda ku Twitter manje because uda kunzwa nyaya kuti akazoda. And then after that now, someone sends you a message then you're on WhatsApp and then all of a sudden you've left everything. I used to be very clear kuti I can't have time for Jesus. But then someone sat me down and they said, but like, do you understand the fact that you're supposed to be Christ-like? How dare you misrepresent God? And I was so embarrassed, more so because I'm a shepherdess. And you know, one thing I used to think when I got married, I thought that Bible verses are sexually transmitted. They are not. If you're out there and you wanted to get married to a pastor for the verses, it doesn't work. Now I'm a living testimony. I'm telling you, because I would have, people would come to me with arguments. And you know how it works. People would come with me like, hey, no, instead of this, the dead, and I say, but my verses instead of the dead. And they'd be like, no. I'm like, what you mean, no? Because what I can do, no, I'm not doing that. You look for them yourself. It was offensive to me, but it made me realize that I have never committed to being a Christian. Then I started committing. And when I started committing, the one thing I did was wake up every morning and said, I said this, and please don't write it down or try to start committing to it because you feel it's a nice phrase. God first, best, and last. And I said, the day has to come with God. Right now, I've passed that stage. Now I'm on quality time with God, not quantity. And so now, when I'm reading a chapter, I'm not just supposed to read through it. Chapter 4, chapter 5. Chapter 5, yeah, Joshua. Joshua, chapter 5. My issue now has become about the quality that I give God in my read. Because I commit to giving him something. A tithe of my life, a day has a tithe in it. Do you know that? Your own life has a day. As a tithe to God. You can't afford to make that day compromised with other things of the world. Commit to something. So the other balance that comes in the commitment is when you commit even to society, you need to show society that you are giving. Have you ever done some program, Dokas, and then you're just like, no. When you commit, that's why I avoid commitments that I'm not ready to make. Because a commitment is really serious, much like a marriage. You need to commit. And when you commit to focusing at work, I believe if you are a paid person and you're getting a salary, earn it. No matter what you might think, God talks about the steward over small things and then over big things. You never know. My vangovaiti shiny sapasi kunge president varukuya. And I hated kushiny sapasi, but never right. Tunati papa ngari wa mgabe kataiti tunati wa mgabe wakashika paka pano chakuna phone face yao wacha kuroa neana baba wacha kuti yes. Remember, I was a tomboy. You have to understand this. So I would do it so earnestly because I want to make sure. And you know, even when I made my bed, I'd put I would make sure. I'd like because I had that standard in mind. Be your own. Can you see myself? I was my own competition. And I would say, if he comes and he sees that I'm the one who did this and it was not good enough, then it's not worth it. I did the same thing with my studies. I did the same thing with my work. You know, people from work come looking for you. Listen, we need you back. We know it was a grant, yakapera, but we're trying to create something because they've seen your sincerity. People like Daniel inspire me. Because there were people who, when they put their mind to the task, they will go all in. The Bible tells us, the governors and the other, he was with some two other governors or so, and then there were some people under him. Apparently, he did his work so well that he ended up overseeing these guys, and they started having a problem. All I'm saying is we need to make sure that we give quality and not quantity. Even when with your spouse, don't hold on to your foot. And you know, I've even noticed what we do. We start sharing the message. Like, no, you can't do that. That's you failing to focus and sharing your lack of focus. You can't be sitting with your workmate and sharing your lack of focus with them. When someone, and do you know that we've realized that in counseling, we've realized that, and I don't know if the psychologist lady is still here, and Mama can attest, Mama, you can attest to this. In counseling, when you sit down with someone and you look somewhere else and they're talking, even if you're repeating what they're saying verbatim, they'll say, they didn't have time for me. So you must make sure that you give that particular attention where it is deserved. Our children, I was talking to this brilliant mind some weekend ago, and this lady, I asked, I'm like, so how are you managing? She says, I don't have all the time with my kids. I don't. But when I'm with my kids, I make sure that I give them so much quality. I'm looking at them. I'm watching them. I'm talking to, even if I'm just there at home for 15 minutes, I make sure that they see Mommy was here. We discuss. And I want to show you something that we decided to invest in to make sure that our communication with our kids is worth the while. And you can do this with anyone, whether a friend, whether whatever. These are called communication or conversation starters. They're called communication cards. What these cards have is a little topic. Let me pick up something. It says, talk about a time when it felt good to help someone. Automatically, you can see the story in your mind, right? Imagine sitting down with your family and you start talking. Guys, okay, today, before devotion. We now do this before devotion. Let's talk about a time you had, when you felt good to help someone. You felt good to help someone. I did this. The kids are opening up to you. And in there's some topics like, have you ever felt like someone abused you? You're tackling something you never have time for. Please go to bookstores, look for conversation starters. They help you and make you link. They make you link with your spouse. They make you link with your children. They make you bring out quality as opposed to quantity. Thank you. And I want you to understand this. When you have these conversation starters, you're telling yourself that whatever time, because I want to give you what our program looks like in a nutshell. I wake up, we're going to do devotion. As soon as whilst I'm doing my devotion, my husband is stepping out of the house because he's going somewhere. And I would have slept at around 1:12, preparing for his day to come, because I'm not an early morning person. I've appreciated that about myself. And then I prepare for him, and then he wakes up in the morning, everything is set, he takes up everything, he's going out. I'm finishing. When I finish doing that, I've got an appointment for maybe an emceeing gig. Then after that, I've got to be in Baitbridge at this time, and then after that, we're going to Uganda for 2 weeks with the children. Without the children. So we understand the importance of quality versus quantity. Let me show you what quantity looks like. Quantity is you spending the time with your kids watching TV. That's quantity. You watch a full episode. You know, when you do the whole run. Omnibus. You are with them. They're sitting next to you. You are laughing together. But it's quantity, because when you walk out, no one knows anyone. Now, the other thing I wanted to say is this. When we are working in the workplace, we need to work smart and hard. There's no such thing as working smart, not hard. They complement each other. I'll give you a typical example, and we noticed this with Pastor. How come when Beyonce stands on that stage, she will dance in heels? Right now, just ask the DJ just to give us one song, and for us to really, and I say, get down, and he's like, okay, she's pushing it. What I'm saying is this: she will dance for an hour non-stop. I think it's 90 minutes, I'm not quite sure. And not only that, she will do the moves that you'll never think. She has 3 children. That's hard in my mind. But smart for me, she's not even looking at the person next to her. What's our next move? On you, on Jerusalem, you look at other people. Okay. You can work smart and hard at the same time. And I'll give you another example. Will Smith is not the best actor. And you have to also be, the Bible says, be as wise as serpents, but harmless as. So it's important for you to know what's going around in your environment. I looked at people who are competitive, who've made it that I would never expect to make it. Will Smith, Mamzivaka, Will Smith, when his agent sat him down, we got this discussion, we were together with Miss Becky. When his agent sat him down, he asked him, where do you want to be? And he said, I want to win, maybe let's just give an example, a Grammy, an Oscar, and this and this and this. What that agent did was go and investigate or do a research on what it takes. What do Grammys, the people who award Grammys, what do they consider when they award someone a Grammy? What characteristics does a person have to be to make sure that this movie is the best? And those characteristics are the ones that were chiseled into that actor. Do you understand what I'm saying? And now you have this guy called Will Smith, and you're thinking, hey, and that success here, shy. But he worked hard for it, and yet he was smart about it. He just didn't decide because I'm a good public speaker, automatic wachatongondida. You still have to do some sort of training. You still need to do some sort of exposure. Just because you cook amazing quiche doesn't mean, yeah, I can open up a restaurant. I was going to financial management. You need the bigger picture. So you need to be smart about it, and you need to work hard. There are times you're going to sacrifice your sleep, not because or not because you got depressed or anything like that, but because you're strategic and you're making sure that, yes, it's, let me cut it right there and say something that happened to me. When I joined this one NGO, I was like, I started doing the figures, like about, the outreaches we've done, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, it is so cool. Oh, am I? So it felt so good in the first 2 months until competition came. This young man used Excel like he used his fingers to say hi. Tata, figure. My pastor Makangansa Nema figure two digits off. I was working hard, but I was not working smart. What I then decided to do was go and do online Excel training overnight. After a tough day of being a wife, a mother, a student, a child, a teacher, I went to do it and I sat down. There's a friend of mine who's saying, and you couldn't mention Singa Femi. Azigoni. And I sat down and I said, no, this concept. And I would research, I'd look at, okay. The next time that boy found me, we were excelling together. Like my friend, yes. So what I did is then I converted it, like in the stats, whatever. Because remember, when you get into the workspace, they are not looking at a mother of 5 children, Nema twins. No, they are looking at competition. But remember, you're not worried about them. You're worried about you being your own competition. And you're saying to yourself, how far will you reach with the counter book, my friend? We need to save time. And we need to make sure that by the time we don't spend, because I'd spend about 4 hours. So now I said to myself, I need to spend at most 15 minutes doing my calculations. The way we feel sorry for ourselves about age. No one is feeling sorry about our age. People are coming aggressively. We have to wake up and smell the coffee. We have to work smart. We have to work hard. We should not feel sorry for ourselves. Beyonce is one of the oldest artists. She doesn't even care about her age. She is coming. No, but I'm serious. Have you seen her? Have you seen her? So I'm telling you, and look, let me give you something. Me and her are in our late 30s. We are competing with little young girls. We're like, hello, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You're thinking, shucks. And you now have to work smart. Because you're thinking to yourself, I need to make myself more strategically appealing for the next market. We always have to re-strategize. Saka, if you are doing funnies or feeling sorry and and then after that you're going and declaring God, he said 6 days you will labor. Expect yourself to feel mentally exhausted at Sunset Friday, thinking, Jesus, thank you so much for the Sabbath rest. Yeah. You know, I don't know if you've noticed, but at church I'm tired. And now for us on Sabbath is a work day again. Because now we have to cater to the flock. Yeah, you. My pastor. You're like, hey, hello. And have you ever noticed how everyone wants the same smile from you? You always have to keep the right. 20 degrees. I see you. You always have to have the same energy, even when you're going through a tough time. And that's the other thing. I'll tell you about ministry. And my time is so bad. I'll tell you something about ministry. Ministry is one of the places, and she would understand, because it's one of the places where you get drained and everybody expects you to do it. Hello, hi, hello, are you watching for ready? And akawiwa ajichema, saka, kunzwa say maswano. No, I'm praying. And at every moment, and I had to watch Michelle Obama for this. I now know where to get my strength. That's the other thing. Know where to draw your strength. How can you go and draw your strength from someone else who's also unstable? I watched Oprah interviewing Michelle, and Oprah is my role model, by the way. I watched her interviewing Michelle, and I saw Michelle in 50 Shades of Grey in her life, and I said, wow. And I even watched Oprah watching. But I saw that she reinvents herself gracefully. And we have to step into that place where we understand where we draw our strength from. And remember, when people are not the people who should see your vision, don't worry about explaining yourselves to them. Don't. Otherwise, you'll stress yourselves out. The balance is, because remember, it's a mental balance. Tetema said, you can't expect people to understand your furniture drive. You see the vision of furniture. You see the tomorrow furniture. And so if no one gets that vision, it's all good. You discuss with people who understand your line of business. They see an entrepreneur, work with that energy, because you've got enough drain, Nyari. We've got enough drain, guys. Mama, you've got enough drain. You can't afford to look. And when people are complaining, listen, the dogs will bark. And the psychologists talk about projection. When someone has a low self-esteem about themselves, they'll project it on other people. So don't worry yourself with that. Focus. Your work-life balance needs mental soundness. Protect your peace with everything that you have. Aggressively. Okay? Sorry, I have to rush with this time thing. And the other thing is, be flexible. One of the things that happened is that at work we once undertook a huge project. This project was so overwhelming that many people, Kubasa, because of the project, they would get piles. That's how stressful that project was. But then the one thing I realized about the reason why people were getting stressed was because they were rigid. Of course, you have to tell yourself, I have to be flexible. This is what my plan looked like. This is my adjustment. It means this is what needs to happen. And I need to tell myself, I am the person for the job. But make sure you don't exhaust yourself. I need to rush. Now, there is a law called Parkinson's law. Awesome Temowe government in Zimbabwe. Quit. No. Parkinson's law says that when the amount of time you've been given to complete a task is when you will finish it. Kuchikoro ukapiwa essay irikudiwa kuma 4. Unotanga kuishanda kuma half 3. But Zware say you had nothing to do. Can you relate? Procrastination is the thief of time. Fight procrastination with every bit of you. Ellen White says that. She says procrastination is the thief of time. With every being that you have. And when you find yourself going into the black hole of WhatsApp, Instagram, and whatever, stand up, put your phone down, walk around, and come back to your station and start doing your work. Does that make sense? That's how you create that balance from drifting away from media. Because it's not like it's a media. But when you see yourself getting that and it's taking away from your timelines, put it down, take a walk, even 3 minutes. Then you come back, you sit down, you continue with what you're doing. Okay, now I was focused on this. And learn to shut down on other things. My friend was complaining about this. You must learn to silence other noises and focus on that thing you want to achieve. Because there will always be a noise. But your balance needs to tell yourself, this is a child. They're crying. They will be quiet. They're frustrated. I need to focus on replying this email. Sir, EFG, XYZ, down. The email is down. The child is still okay. What is wrong? You know you can never have everything as and when you want it. So learn to shut down other sounds. And my final sharing for you today is this. Know your menstrual cycle and respect it. Yeah. You need to know yourself. Because have you ever noticed how you've shouted at the people for no particular reason? Check your mental well-being and address it. It's important for you to check what is happening with you. We now have discussions with my own husband to say, no, I'm about to start my period. Allow yourself to utaure zvakadaro. It sets you free faster. If you're going for menopause, understand that you're hyperventilating and you are shouting about a cockroach that has been found on a table. It's not. You're just overreacting because of that particular situation and the hormonal changes you're going through. Celebrate yourselves, because no one will. For your sanity. No one sits down and appreciates the things that you did. You know with your husband. Can I talk to the elderly mothers? With your husband, with the high table, sorry. With the high table. You know the battles you have fought for your kids and your husband. And they say, mom's mnongo asiva. Aiwa, you need to go to a, chimboruka neche kusidati mbo ya kuside kurowanza kuyakuko maja yangu sateti yoneka nditi yoneka itakuti zviye kuside. Because if you don't celebrate yourselves, you will become a bitter person and everyone will owe you. Ladies, may you be blessed. And may you find that balance in yourself. May you be rejuvenated by God's grace. And in 6 days as you work, may God give you his strength.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know her. I know her personally. The way she kept on talking about Beyonce, I was tempted to ask the guys, could you sound moves?